Okay, now we're looking at the startup expenses spreadsheet. And before I go any further, I should have done this earlier in one of the earlier videos, but better late than never. I've already gotten some questions from students about what is expected with regards to the draft for the financial spreadsheets. Of course, you have to submit that several weeks prior to the the full financial plan portion of the business plan. Honestly, what I'm looking for is not that carry through to completion. Obviously, that would be your full plan. That's not the expectation here. The expectation is that you have some of these categories filled in with revenue sources, with expenses, categories identified that are specific to your business. Going ahead and starting to kind of lay out the framework for what you actually expect with the business that you've chosen. Whether it's a hypothetical business or if it's a business that that you never intend to start, or one that you truly would like to start. Doesn't matter. Have those laid out so that it'll help you in framing what is to come in the weeks ahead with regards to the financial plan portion of the business plan. So certainly you can take it beyond that if you want to and go ahead and start filling in numbers, but they need to come from somewhere, and I expect that that's going to take a little bit longer to do. And so at this stage, it's enough to have that information, just specific categories listed out, and shown that you have put time and thought into the breakdown, the separation from an accounting standpoint of where your business is. Okay, all right. So now we'll get into the startup expenses. These, sorry, I'm looking to see where we are on time. The first section there are the sources of capital. This is essentially, where did you get your money from? Every business starts with money from somewhere. You're going to have expenses from fairly early on, and you have to have money to cover those. It may be you contributing that money. You may be lending money to the business, and with the expectation of being paid back. You may have gotten loans from from individuals, from family members, friends, whatever that is. Put those down there. You may have gotten investment money. If so, detail out where the money came from. It'll help you keep track of it going forward, where those obligations lie. Okay. What are the next category is the true startup expenses. And again, these are fairly straightforward, but you may have others that are not accounted for here that are specific to your business. Construction can encompass a number of things. You may have to build a facility from the ground up. You may have to just do an add-on. Remodeling. You could incorporate that into construction. Sometimes it's good to separate that out to see exactly what was paid. But there may be other categories, maybe some that don't apply. If so, as I've said before, delete those that don't apply, and add rows for where you have categories that are unique or specific to your business here, your venture. Okay. Capital equipment goes in. Brief explanation there of some of the items that fall into that category. Location and administrative expenses, and inventory, of course, going back to previous spreadsheet where we identify out the different categories and not just call it category 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Advertising, promotional expenses. You may have you may spend a lot of dollars putting together some some high quality advertising for the day that you actually open the doors. That may be somewhere down the road. That's up to you as to where that gets counted and when. But you at least have that as an option here. And then you have a section for other expenses. And let's see here. The part there at the bottom should, yeah, that's gonna pull in information from other inputs towards the top of the spreadsheet, starting in around around cell C88. That's going to start pulling in information from the top portion of the spreadsheet, and much of that, just verify it though before you assume that it's going to fill it in. And then here, as I say that, as soon as I do, starting on row 106, security and collateral, those are input numbers. You'll have to actually input those yourself. Those don't pull in from other sources. So this is a good way to help you identify what your expenses are, and the purpose of that is so that you can know that you have all those expenses covered, the day one expenses, and it's good to carry that out for several months as well, to make sure that you have how many ever months of operating expenses covered, so that you can stay in business. But many times business owners will have this great plan. They'll quit their job, and it doesn't happen that often, but I have heard of a few cases, unfortunately, and they don't realize the length of time that it's going to take to actually, before they actually start bringing revenue in, and then the big mountain that they're up against, with all these expenses as well. So it's sort of a little bit of a double whammy, and they may end up going out of business really before they even get started, and having to go back to work in the corporate world or whatever. So that's fairly straightforward. Again, there's notes on the preparation of that over to the side, so pay attention to that. And again, make sure that all of your categories total correctly, especially if you are going to be inserting rows in there. Okay.